Welcome to Entrepreneurial Entrails for some short stories on the guts and glories of being an entrepreneur.
Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason.
Hey, it's Elizabeth Plouffe with Entrepreneurial Entrails. Tell you, after a couple of false starts, you never realize how loud people tromp through your house till your office is in the basement and everybody's getting ready to leave. They're like a herd of really non-delicate elephants. So I'm following up on the last podcast that I did where I talked about what if and the uselessness of fear and the combination of those two and how they can be really powerful in derailing your entrepreneurship path. And if you give in to the what if and the fear and what that can block you from and what have you. And one thing that keeps coming up for me, or not keeps coming up, but comes up periodically, rears its ugly head, if you will, is what if I could actually be content to be an employee? And I was a great employee. I always gave 120% and, was the one who remembered people's birthdays and organized the cakes and went the extra mile and was always asking for extra projects and not tooting my own horn by any stretch of the imagination. But I had some very positive experiences. One of the best was when I was working for Girl Guides of Canada. Just loved that job. But even with that job, even with how fantastic it was and the hundreds of people that I worked with as far as volunteers and parents and girls and all that kind of stuff and leaders, I still, after, the 3-year mark, was chafing. It was like a rash. And I hate jumping from job to job, but I also hate staying in the same job. So it was then that I, after 4.5 years with Girl Guides of Canada, made the decision to go back to school. Now, here's the funny thing. I went back to school in order to continue being an employee. Didn't go back to school. I got my postgraduate in corporate communications to become an entrepreneur. Never entered my head that that's where I would end up. And even though I've owned a couple of different businesses, the idea of, doing it full time just didn't enter my consciousness. So anyway, after a stint as an employee, as a communications person, this came to be. And even maybe it's not so much just the entrepreneurship thing. Maybe it's my my level of boredom that happens. And I see friends of mine who, have stuck with the same job for years and years and years, and they're very happy with it. And I'm so happy for them. Like, good for you. And so consequently, they're in a much better financial position. They've got paid vacation for now 6 weeks a year. I'm in my 40s. So if somebody's been at the job for 15 years, you got every possible perk possible. I have to depend on my husband for benefits and paid vacation and all that kind of stuff. And so now I'm thinking to myself, we were at an event tonight, my husband and I. He was in a golf tournament today. And we were there with 2 Ford employees, really nice guys. And, chitty-chatting and whatever, not much about work. But what it came down to was they went to pay for the beer tab. And one of the Ford guys, pulled out this wad of cash like nobody's business, and he just, here you go, and pays the tab. It's stuff like that, or people that I see going on, what appears to be relatively stress-free vacations. They're not doing it, although I guess you never really know what's going on the inside, but from the outside anyway, you always glamorize the process and how they must have been able to just afford to go, or, were able to put the money aside or what have you. And so what my thought process today is about being an entrepreneur is, what would my life have been like? 1, if I had decided to continue looking for a regular job working for somebody else. And 2, if I had had the ability to, or not even, I shouldn't say the ability, because I had the ability to stay. If my career had not gone the way it went, with me having to change jobs for whatever reason, where would we be now? Would we be more stable? And the same goes for my husband. He decided at 36, we decided for him at 36, for him to go back to school to become a millwright, because he was at the mercy of whatever business he was working for. And after the 3rd business rather large organizations that he was working for, either got sold or shut down or what have you. It's like nuts to this. Being a laborer, you're at the mercy of whatever decisions they make, no control, no power. And so now, as a tradesperson with his papers as a millwright, he has a lot more say in what happens. He still ends up as somebody's employee, but now he's an extremely marketable employee. He's no longer allowing his work situation to be dictated by whatever company he's working with. He can be a lot more choosy. He's also now a third-year electrical apprentice, and so that's going to make him, triply choosy. He's got a sweet gig with the City of Toronto, but his ultimate goal is to actually become an entrepreneur at some point, have his own business where he's doing residential electrical work and odd jobs and what have you. And he'd be really good at it. And of course, I've got experience being an entrepreneur, so I'd be able to set him all up. So I'm wondering, do other people have this? Do other people still choose the hard road as an entrepreneur, small business owner, despite, the perks that could be afforded from being an employee? And how do you deal with that? Well, I guess for me, I'll share that one of the perks is that everything I'm building right now is mine. You really enjoy problem solving. I enjoy creating things and what have you. And when I was doing that for other businesses, it was satisfying. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoy solving issues for people and making things better. But I got to tell you, there's nothing like hitting the sweet spot and creating something, and it's all your own, and nobody can take that from you. And for me, like, my cool thing right now, my little news, is that I submitted this podcast along with, I do 2 podcasts. So I submitted them under one brand to iTunes, and after a 2-day review, and I don't know what the process is, and it might not be a huge deal, but it's not an automatic. You can be denied. I am now on iTunes with Across the Desk, which is the parent brand for Entrepreneurial Entrails. And I'm also on Google Play. Submitted to there and got approved. So woohoo! So it's those kind of moments where, the what if takes a back seat, and I don't feel so bad about choosing the road that's harder because I built it. I did it. It's me putting my voice and myself and my whatever on the line, and it's all good. For right now, I'm going to coast on that for the week. I also had a fantastic meeting today with a colleague, and we're going to be putting together a lot of fantastic here today, but it really was fantastic. She's a really well-respected sales pro, and I love her work ethic. I love what she stands for. Her whole vision is to make organizations stronger in their sales and the people get empowered. And so we're going to put together a podcast that'll ultimately result in a workshop that people can come in and understand the sales process better. So understand what happens when you're sitting across the desk from somebody, what's going on in their brain and what you have to get past. And then flip side of that, or continuation of that, would be, are you as because all entrepreneurs are selling on some capacity or another, are you inadvertently undoing a successful sales situation by having really bad messaging on your website, or your social media profile sucks, and that's the part that I'll be doing. But I built that. My idea, my baby. Put together the concept, took it to my colleague and said, what do you think? She was so stoked. We ended up doing a bit of a strategy session around some other stuff that she's trying to solve, which was awesome. So all in all, it's only Tuesday and it's freaking rocking out there. So I am sure that I will go back and have a what if where I wonder, would my life be easier? Would it be better? Would it be more satisfying? I don't know. If I was able to be a long-term employee, and if I hadn't chosen the hard road. But for right now, it's pretty freaking awesome. I would love to hear if you go through those moments where you just kind of go, crap, this is freaking hard. And, what if I went back to being an employee? What would I lose? What would I gain? And why? Why are you choosing the hard road? What makes it so stoky for you that it's worth the aggravation and the sleepless nights? And I can't imagine I'm the only one that has those. So I hope you're having a fantastic day. I hope today you were able to make some connections and take some of your creative ideas and make them into reality. And I look forward to hopefully hearing some of your comments. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.